Hi guys and welcome to Learn Extra Live. Yes, it's grade 12s, finally. I know that you've all been chomping at the bit and waiting. As you can see, we've got Peter on board today and it's going to be, you know what that means? That means it's going to be really, really fun.
Thanks,
and it means
man.
he's going to tease me a hell of a lot. So I'm going to try not to cry.
Please don't.
I'll try not to.
Guys, grade 12 today, we're doing finance. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at different types of finance questions that could come up in both your paper 1 as well as your paper 2. But before we get there, how was your week? Great week?
It's been a good week, but
It
it's not
has been.
over.
No, it's
yet.
not.
Yeah.
Cold on Tuesday?
Freezing
Absolutely.
snow.
Do you know that I was up in the Magaliesberg with a group of 79 boys when that snow came down?
And happiness.
It was freezing. You have no idea how cold we were. And
But
the
did you get
boys
to
were-
make a snowman? Was there like big snow?
There was not, no.
No.
But what we
Boo.
did was we were doing a survival course. So the guys were abseiling down mountains, sliding across gorges on their backs on a
Snow
cable.
flying through their
Snow.
hair.
It was just absolutely
I
amazing.
can
But one of the
imagine.
guys had a bicycle. And he put his bicycle and he walked away and it fell over. So he picked it up,
Yeah.
had it up, left it, and it fell over. And do you know why the bicycle kept falling over?
Because it wasn't leaning on something?
No, it was too tired. Think about that. Too tired. No, no.
That's a good one. I
I'll
like
go
it.
there, you
I
talk to
like
them.
it. You go there. Mixed exercises and finance is coming up, guys. But what you need to do is you need to chat to us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Learn Extra. Also chat to me, Indy, on Twitter @Learn Extra. If there's anything that Peter is going over that you're not understanding, please pop it on the page. And there's no such thing as a silly question, only the one that's asked after the exams, because then it's too late. And it is matric, guys, and you guys know and I know how serious this is. It's the final countdown, prelims around the corner, and then finals, and then you're done. Really, then you're done. So let's have fun and let's learn more and let's learn extra. Pete, take it away.
Right, guys, and because it's your final exam that you're actually working towards, always remember this, and this is what I always tell my classes, is that you have done maths for the last 12 years. All right? So from grade 1, in fact, maybe even from grade 0 nowadays, they're starting to do maths. But from grade 1, you guys have been doing a little bit of maths. Okay? So you've done maths in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, etc., all the way up to matric. And all that maths now, all right, is now focused in 2 3-hour exams. Okay? A paper 1 and a paper 2. And this exam, your final matric exam, is the exam, what it's all about, okay? So, this is what I say to my guys at school. If you've worked so hard your whole school career, and you now just got one more 3-hour exam for a paper 1, and one more 3-hour paper 2 exam, why don't you make the most of that exam? And really try and remain focused from the beginning right through to the end. And more importantly, this is not the time to get lazy. In other words, what I'm saying to you is show all your working. Okay? Because you pick up part marks for showing method work. Right? So, if I were to give you, in fact, let me show you what I mean. Let's have a look at this straight away. So, here's a question. Calculate the following. 28% of 2,859 Rand and 50 cents. Okay? Paper 1 type question, very basic, very simple. You're calculating percent. Soon as I see the word percent, what jumps to your mind? 100. Okay? So, we know 28% is the same as saying 28 over 100. Multiplied by the 2,859 Rand and 50 cents. Now, let's do that on our calculator. We've got fraction button, 28 over 100, multiplied by 2,859 Rand and 50 cents equals, push the button, and there's our answer, 800 Rand and 66 cents. 800 Rand and 66 cents. Okay. Now let's say that question was in your final exam. Let's pretend your first question is find 28% of that 2,859 Rand and 50 cents. And you say, oh, this is easy. Let's do it on our calculator. So you get out your calculator, okay, and you say, this is so easy, let's do it. Fraction button, 28 over, and you say 100, but now you make a mistake. And you push the 0, but it doesn't register on your calculator, and you don't pick that up. So you've said 28 over 100 in your working, but what you've actually done is you push 28 over 10, okay, and you go ahead and you say times 2,859 Rand and 50 cents equals, and now what you get is you get an answer of 8,006 Rand and 60 cents. So you've now got an answer of, let's write it here, I'm going to do it in yellow, 8,006 Rand and 60 cents. Now the teacher comes along to mark that, or at the end of the year, your markers come along. And they say, right, it's 2 marks. 1 mark we're going to give you for the method, for knowing what you're doing, and for remembering your units. Yes, absolutely. This guy knows exactly what he's doing. And yes, he's got the answer. Absolutely, he gets 2 out of 2, right? Happy, everything's right. Let's say, though, what you now do is you do this. You say, because you've done this on your calculator, you pushed the wrong button, so you've got 8,006,60, okay? Your teacher's coming, or the markers at the end of the year come along and they mark, and they say, yep, that's right. Oh, but that's wrong. How on earth did he get that, okay? They're going to know what you did wrong, and they're going to say, you know what, this guy knows what he's doing. He knew he had to do this first part. He's made a mistake here somewhere. We're going to give him 1 out of 2. And what I always say to my students is this. Don't think of a mark as 1 out of 2. Don't say, oh, I only got 1 extra mark. 1 out of 2, guys, is actually 50% for that question. So for that question, even though you've made a mistake, you got 50% for it. That's phenomenal, okay? Compared to someone who gets 0 for it. How would you get 0? You would get 0 as if you said, oh, this is so easy, you know what, I'm not even going to show my working. I'm just going to write the answer, and I'm going to say the answer to question 1 is 8,006 Rand 60 cents. You know, the tragedy of that is, I come along, and as a marker at the end of the year, we look at that and say, oh, shame, that's wrong. We know what he's done wrong, but we can't presume that that's what he did. Because that final answer is wrong, he's going to get 0 out of 2. So someone else might have got the same answer, but because they showed all this working initially, they're going to get a mark for their working. So do not be lazy in your final exam. Don't do it. Because you're going to just throw marks away in the event that you might have made a careless mistake somewhere. Are we clear on that? Okay? Please remember that, folk. Eh? I'd say that over and over and over and over again. Not only to my students, but I say it to teachers when I go across to different provinces and when I'm talking to different teachers. And I say, please tell your students, they've got to show their working. They've got to show their working. Because if they don't show their working and they make a careless mistake, we can't give them any marks anywhere. But by showing working, you make a mistake, you're still going to get some of those marks. And you know what? That could mean the difference between getting a level 7 or getting a level 6 at the end of the year for your final exams. Right, enough of that. Next question. Now, a computer normally sells for 6,800 Rand. Instead, it is being sold for 4/5 of the normal selling price. Calculate the new selling price. Okay, so we've got a computer and it's 6,800 Rand. But we're not paying the full amount. We are paying 4/5 of that amount. So all we're going to do is times it by 4/5. And then we're going to find out the final answer. So I'm going to say, okay, I've got 6,800 multiplied by 4/5 equals 5,440 Rand. 5,440 Rand. That's how much my new computer is going to cost. Guys, if you want to think it through logically, now I've got students who would do this question the following way, so I'm going to show you, okay? They would say this, that if the computer costs 6,800 Rand, we don't want the full 5/5. We're not paying the full amount. We're only paying 4/5. So what these students would do is they take 6,800 Rand, divide it by 5 to get the cost of 1/5 of their computer, okay, or 1/5 of the price, and then multiply it by 4 to get 4/5 of that price. And you know what? If that's the way you want to think it through, then do it. But you're actually doing it by doing this anyhow. You're saying we're dividing it by 5 and then multiplying it by 4. So multiplying by 4 over 5 is exactly the same thing as saying let's divide it by 5. So we got 1/5 of the price and then multiply it by 4. So we got 4/5. But if you think that makes more logical sense to you, by all means do it. You're going to get the full marks for it. Next question. A fridge is advertised at 4,999 Rand for cash. Alternatively, a customer may use hire purchase and pay a deposit of 10% and then repay the balance with monthly installments of 289 Rand for 3 years. Calculate the amount of the deposit required. Okay, so you walk into a shop and you see a fridge. Oh, and it's a beautiful fridge, eh? It's got 2 doors, okay?
It's got an ice thing,
it's
and
got
water.
an ice thing. You can actually even take a glass, smash it in the front door, and the water comes through and into the glass. Fantastic fridge. Absolutely brilliant. And you see this fridge and you think, oh, if my wife could have a fridge like that, okay? And so you think about it and think, I want that fridge. My wife is precious. She's wonderful. She's fantastic. She deserves that fridge, okay? So I go off to the guy and say, how much is a fridge? And he says, the fridge is 4,999 Rand. And I get so excited, okay? And I open my wallet and I discovered I've got nothing like that in that wallet at all. And I'm depressed and I'm heartsore. And somehow I just can't face tomorrow. And he says, hold on, Peter. If you can give me a 10% deposit, then I'll give you this fridge. And all you've got to do is pay 289 Rand every month for the next 3 years only, and you can have the fridge. I'm like, what a bargain. Here I'm getting a huge fridge, and all I've got to do is find 289 Rand every month, and I'll have a fridge. Okay? That's like 289 Rand a month. That's like doing TV work for 25 hours, and then I've got my 289 Rand, okay? So this is what we're going to do. First question, how much deposit's required? Well, the fridge cost me 4,999 Rand. I only want 10% of that, and remember guys, percent means over 100 or out of 100. So now what we're going to do with our calculator is we're going to say, right, we've got 4,999 Rand times 10%, 10 over 100 equals, and what are we going to pay? 499 Rand and 90 cents. So we got 499 Rand and 90 cents. That's all I have to give this guy. 499 Rand and 90 cents. I hand that over to him and I get the fridge. Oh, life's going well. Now, the next question is this. Calculate the total amount you would repay over the 3-year period. Right, so now, I'm paying 289 Rand every single month. 289 Rand every month. I'm doing it for 3 years. But I'm not just paying 3 installments. I'm paying 12 installments every year because there are 12 months in a year, right? So I'm paying 12 months every year, and I'm doing that for 3 years. So in other words, every year I'm paying 12 times, which is 36. So I'm now saying, okay, well, I've got to pay this 289 Rand. I'm going to do that for 36 months, and I'm actually paying 10,404 Rand. 10,404 Rand is what I'm paying back over those 36 months. Jeez, that's a lot of money, especially when you think that the fridge only cost you just under 5,000 and now you're paying more than 10,000. But there's more bad news. What's the more bad news? Will you remember this figure of 10,404? Cool.
I shall.
Excellent, because our next question says this. Find the total amount paid for the fridge on hire purchase. What do they mean by that? Because I've just said I'm paying back
10,404
and 4 Rand. Surely that's the total price for the fridge. Not at all. Do you remember that day 3 years ago when I walked into the shop and the guy said, "Oi, you just got to pay 289 Rand a month. But before you do that, I need a deposit, a 10% deposit." And how much was that? It was 10% of that, which was 499 Rand and 90 cents. Now that's going to be the total that I've got to pay back for or would have paid for the fridge. 499.9 equals, and there's my answer, 10,903 Rand. 10,000, oops, here we go, 10,903 Rand and 90 cents. That's a lot to pay when you think that the fridge actually only cost you 4,999 Rand. And now eventually you've paid back more than double that amount by using the hire purchase. So is hire purchase really worth it, guys? Let's think about this. There are two things to think about. Number one, if I've got the cash, pay cash for it. Absolutely. Because then I'm not paying all this interest. Okay? That's number one. But number two, if I don't have the cash, you could do one of two things. Either go this way, and if you go this route of buying it on hire purchase, the advantage of that is, number one, you've got the fridge straight away. Okay? And then you've got small little installments. The disadvantage, of course, is you're going to end up paying back a whack more for that fridge. Okay? The other thing you could do if you don't have the money is you could say, right, I'm going to save every single month until I have 4,999 Rand. The problem with that is this. Number one, you're not going to have the fridge straight away. Okay? So you're going to be having a lot of sour milk over the summer months. Got that? Okay? So you're going to go buy yourself some milk. You're not going to have a fridge to put it in. And over the summer months, it's actually going to go frot. Over the winter months, it shouldn't be a problem, especially the last week we've had here in Joburg. Eh?
Yeah, you have to thaw it out to be frozen.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll tell you this. Where I was now with this group of 79 boys up there in the Magaliesberg Mountains, what we used to do every night, okay, if we didn't want certain things to be frozen, like our milk, like our bananas and apples and things, we would take them and put them in the fridge because the fridge was warmer than the temperature outside the fridge. How's that?
It's incredible.
Absolutely remarkable. So every night we'd say, right, what don't we want frozen? This and this, let's put it in the fridge because it's better in there. In fact, I nearly went to sleep in the fridge the one night because it was warmer than outside air. Okay, but we've got sidetracked once again. What were we saying? Okay, so if I want to save the money, right, I can save it, but there are two problems. Number one, I won't have the fridge straight away. And number two, and this is important, by the time I've saved that money, the fridge has gone up in price anyway. And so I'm going to have to save a little bit more. Okay, so you've got to think very carefully. Do I want to do hire purchase or don't I? And you think about that while we take a break. Eh?
Let's do that. Let's take a little ad break. Guys, please let me know if you are watching on Facebook or on Twitter. We have been posting amazing facts on Women's Day, so check those out there too. We'll see you now after the break. Hi guys, and welcome back to Learn Extra Live. It's Maths Lit and it's grade 12. Grade 12s, let me know if you're watching on facebook.com/Learn Extra, also at Twitter, at Learn Extra on Twitter. And if there is anything that you are struggling with and you're not understanding that Peter has gone through, please post your questions on the page so we can help you out at the end of the show. And I'm not going to take any more time from Peter. Peter, take it away.
Cool, and today we're busy looking at different finance questions, and let's start off straight away looking at our next question. The cost of maintaining a car for 12 months is shown in the table below. The car license costs 255 Rand and 15 cents. Tires, 4 are needed, 695 Rand per tire. I must just stop here, I'm worried. Because it says for 12 months, it means that this person is going through 4 tires every 12 months. My goodness, they're talking about my mother-in-law. I just know it, like the way she shrieks off and breaks, or sometimes she doesn't. She goes.
I was kind of wondering, is that not normal? Because I kind of get a set of tires once a year.
A new set of tires.
What does that mean?
Year.
Does that mean that I drive around corners badly?
That just means you drive badly. But you know, I've said at the beginning of this program, I'm not going to be horrible because it is Women's Day.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and be nice, and
you can do it.
It's hard, but I'm trying my best here. So okay, so. 4 tires are needed in 1 year at 695 Rand a tire. A tune-up, 495 Rand and 50 cents. Insurance, 446 Rand and 80 cents per month. That's important. Wheel alignment, 198 Rand and 50 cents. Okay. What's wheel alignment? Do you know what wheel alignment is?
Oh, I know exactly what wheel alignment is. See, especially with me, because I always hit potholes. So when I hit a pothole, I always take my wheel alignment out. So when you let go of the steering wheel, kind of glides to the right, to the left, and your car should, in essence, go straight. Is that right?
That's it in a nutshell. Well done.
Thank you.
Right, I'm quite impressed.
At least I know
Well,
something.
I don't know if I am impressed. The way that you know what a wheel alignment is kind of scary, but that is basically it. And normally what happens as well, when they change your tires, they realign the wheels to make sure that everything is right. So when I'm changing tires, I should also be doing wheel alignment. And that's important to remember, folk, okay? Now, the examiner here is quite naughty because they should have told you that in the briefing, and they haven't told you that. So I'm just telling you. Okay, next one. Grease and oil change, 364 Rand. Now, I'm going to be nice, and I said I'm going to be nice to women, and I am, and I'm going to be nice to my mother-in-law tonight as well. Clearly, this is not hers, okay, because there's no damage to the vehicle that's got to be dented, all right? So it's not hers at all because there's no panel beating costs here. All right, let's move on. Calculate the following, showing all necessary steps. The total paid for insurance annually. Now remember I said this is interesting because my insurance given is per month. And now they're asking me for my monthly, yearly cost. So let's do that. I know I've got to pay 246 Rand and 80 cents every month. How many months in a year? There are 12 months in the year. So, on looking at that then, let's clear our calculator. We've got 246 Rand and 80 cents. We're multiplying that by the 12 months equals, and we land up then with 2,961 Rand and 60 cents. 2,961 Rand and
60 cents?
60 cents. Right, great. Straightforward, easy question. I knew it was going to be easy because of this little 2 marks over here. Next one. Find the cost to replace all 4 tires of the car. So we're going to replace the 4 tires, 695 Rand. Okay, 695 Rand per tire. And we're going to replace 4 of them. Just incidentally, Indiana, while I do this on the calculator, please remember that when you replace your tires, what's the other thing you've got to remember?
Your wheel alignment.
Okay, and besides that?
Tire pressure. Is this a trick question?
No, it's a real question. You've always got to always check the spare tire. Okay.
My dad always tells me that.
Does he? And
you
never
you're such a dad.
2,780 Rand. So 2,780 Rand for the 4 tires. But the wheel alignment, to align all 4 tires, is going to cost you extra 198 Rand and 50 cents. So to that 2,780 Rand, we're going to add 198 Rand and what? And 50 cents. Okay, 0.50 equals, and my answer then is 2,978 and 50. 2,978 Rand and 50 cents. Happy?
Very happy.
Okay. Little trick with that alignment. Examiner was quite naughty. They should have told you that. Right, they should have said, you know what, when you change tires, you need to also do the wheel alignment. Right, next one. Find the total amount to maintain the car for 12 months. Right, so now, how much is my car costing me for those 12 months? Bearing in mind, guys, bearing in mind that it's not for the running costs. In other words, I'm not putting the petrol in at all. Okay? It's just maintaining that car, just keeping that car going, excluding the fuel. So what do we have to do? We've got to add up all these figures. We're going to add up the 2,515. The 4 tires needed, we said it wasn't going to be 695. How much was that going to cost me? Do you remember?
The total amount. The total amount of everything added together.
No, just the tires. Do you remember that?
No, I only wrote the total amount. I'm
that's not very
sorry.
clever
I'm
of you.
sorry.
Okay, let's go for it. It's going to be 2,780. Cool? So let's write that in there straight away. 2,780 Rand. The tune-up is going to cost me 495 Rand 50. Insurance is not 246.80. What was my insurance? Do you remember that? Indiana, I'm so glad you're in the studio today. You're great help. It's absolutely exciting to have you.
Peter.
Okay, here we go. The insurance is 2961.60. Got it?
Hold on.
6160.
Got it.
You sure?
I'm definitely sure.
Okay, tell me again.
2961.60.
Okay, cool. The wheel alignment 198.50. That stays the same. Grease and oil change 364 Rand. So, folk, what are we doing? All we're going to do is we're going to add up all these figures. Straightforward, shouldn't be hard at all. Okay, so let's take out our calculator and we're going to say, right, on my calculator now, clear it. I'm going to say I've got 255.15 for the car license. The tires are 2,780 Rand plus the tune-up is 495 Rand and 50 cents. Plus my insurance for the year is 2,961 Rand and 60 cents. The wheel alignment cost me 198 Rand and 50 cents. And finally, the grease and the oil change is 364 Rand. Okay? Equals, and my final figure, 7,054 Rand, 75 cents.
54 Rand.
Hold on.
And 75 cents.
7,054 Rand and
75 cents.
75 cents. Now that one wasn't really hard, hey? And it wasn't really difficult because you've done all the little bits in between. All you had to do was add. Now here's something I want to point out to you. Let's just say, we made a mess up with the tires. Let's say we didn't realize we were replacing all 4 and we only replaced 1 at 695 Rand. And so this answer we got earlier was wrong. Or even better, let's pretend we knew that, but let's pretend we thought there were only 10 months in a year. So instead of timesing the 246,80 by 12, we times it by 10 and got 2,468 Rand. Okay? We would have lost marks on the previous question. But on this question, if we said 255.15 plus 2780 plus this, plus, then we said plus 2468,0, plus that, although that's wrong, you've already lost marks in the previous question. If you'd added this up, you would have still got full marks because we can't penalize you twice. And that's what I always tell my boys. Even if you're not sure of a question, just try. Because we can't give you any marks if you leave it blank. But if you're doing something, we can still find marks for you. Let's go on. My next question says this. Calculate the average cost per kilometer If during the 12 months the car was driven 10,265 kilometers, give your answer to the nearest cent. Okay, Indiana, you really worked up, you really jacked. How much was that total cost for the year?
It was 7054
7054
and 75 cents.
and 75 cents. So that's the total cost for all those kilometers. So how much is each kilometer? So we're going to divide it by 10,265 kilometers equals. So out comes our calculator again. And we say, right, we've got 7,054 and 75. Divide that by the number of kilometers, which is 10,265, equals, now look at that answer. 0.6872625426. Ladies and gentlemen, I knew that answer was going to be ugly. How did I know that? The examiner gave me a bit of a clue when he said, round your answer to the nearest cent. So because the examiner is saying, hey, listen, round it to the nearest cent, you should say, hey, listen, I know I'm going to get a horrible answer. Okay? Whenever the examiner says round to something, you know you're not going to get an exact answer. Have you got that? So when I saw that, round your answer to the nearest cent, I said to myself, this is going to be a horrible answer. And it was indeed. So what's 0.68726? Round it off, it's going to be 0.69. So here we go. It's going to be 0.69, nearest cent, 69 cents. And that is the answer there. Are we happy? Okay. Indiana, are there any questions coming up, or are we doing all right?
Let's have a look. It looks like everyone's understanding. Most Success even says, well, thanks a lot, Peter, for your advice. Oh, this is about stopping being lazy. He says he's going to stop being lazy.
Absolutely. Must
Yeah,
stop being
yeah.
lazy, hey? Got it, hey? Right. Now, next question. When someone is buying a house, banks will only grant a bond with monthly repayments to a maximum of 30% of that person's monthly salary. A house valued at 1,200,000 will cost Mr. Dlamini 14,502 Rand per month in monthly bond repayments. What minimum amount must Mr. Dlamini earn monthly to qualify to be granted a bond? Let me explain how this works. One day you guys are going to go out there and you're going to want to buy your wife a home. All right? Or, that's a bit sexist to say that, hey? Let me rephrase that. One day, you women are going to go out there and buy your husband a house. All right? So, how much can you afford every month? So, you're going to see this phenomenal home and say, yeah, that is a great home. I want to buy that. And the bank will work out the monthly repayments. So for Mr. Dlamini, they're saying, your house costs 1,200,000, there it is there, but your monthly repayments are going to be 14,502 Rand. Can I afford that? Well, you might think you can, but the bank say you can afford that, according to them, if that 14,502 Rand only makes 30% of your total salary. Yeah. So in other words, what is his monthly salary got to be if he can afford 14,502 Rand? Let's have a look at this. So we know that 14,502 Rand makes up 30%. So if we know what 30% is, let's find out, well, what's 1%? So let's divide that by 30, okay? So I've got 14,000, and there are a number of ways to do this. I just like doing it logically, because I find my students like thinking things through logically, and you probably too, okay? So let's do this. 14,502 divided by 30, okay, equals. So 1% is 483 Rand, 40 cents. 483 Rand and 40 cents. So that makes up 1%. So what's 100% of his salary? Well, we're going to times it by 100, aren't we? So if we times it by 100, we're going to land up with 48,340 Rand. So if Mr. Clemini wants to buy that house, which cost 1.2 million, he's got to earn a salary of at least 48,340 rand before he can buy that house. Sure, it's a little big salary that, hey?
Sure. Can't you do a question on like a 15,000 rand salary?
On a 15th, well, let's do that.
How much?
Okay.
I would love to know.
All right. So, and Anna's just
We're
given a
learning
major
here.
secret away. She earns 15,000 rand a month. All right. So, geez, I've got to speak to the producer here because I didn't get anything like that. All right. So,
It was a round it was a round figure.
15,000 rand a month.
I think I think that's more like my, like a goal. I'm trying to, be
you wanna
realistic
get
here,
there. Okay.
like eventually.
So if you're earning 15,000, right, you can only take 30% of that towards your monthly installments. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're going to say then is you got 15,000. Oops. If you're earning 15,000 a month times 30% equals, you can only afford 4,500 rand a month. Okay? Which on the current interest rate is round about a house between 450 and 500,000 rand. Okay.
So quite a small house.
You can buy a nice bachelor flat for that. Or a
Yes.
one-bedroom cozy home.
Hey?
I
Yeah,
think so.
a room.
A room. Okay.
With a view.
It's kind of depressing, isn't it?
I'm
eh?
so sad.
It is, especially because the prices of houses have just gone higher and higher and higher. So guys, here, work hard at your maths lit. Show all your working so you can get extra marks, so that you can get from a level 5 to a level 6 to a level 7, so that you can get entrance to a good job, so that you can earn a great salary, so that you can buy your wife a house. Or ladies, you do the same so you can buy your husband a nice house. And I hope my wife's watching this. Dear, start working harder. We need a bigger house. All right, let's move on. You got me sidetracked, hey? We totally
sorry.
went off the
No,
question.
no.
But it's a great
Good,
question
yeah.
because,
No, that's helped me.
sometimes we think of these salaries of 48,000. And, every guy down to earth doesn't earn a salary
It's
like
true.
that at all. You might only earn 4,000 or 5,000 rand a month. And if you take 30% of that 4,000 rand and you work it out in round about 1,200, somewhere around there, and you're saying, geez, I can only afford a house worth 120,000, it gets kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you start thinking, if you're earning 15,000 rand a month and you're spending 4,000 rand on your home, that's less money for food, and then you've still got petrol.
And the tax comes off that and everything. Life's hard out there, guys. That's why you've got to work. That's what I tell my wife all the time. Dear, get out there and work harder. We need more money. All right. Now,
Okay, so what we're going to do is
Yeah.
we're going to take a break.
are we taking a break?
Oh, we are. Okay, guys,
All
so
right.
we're going to take a break, and we will be seeing you shortly. See you now. Sure, we can't believe how fast this lesson has gone, guys. We've got about 15 minutes left, and I know that Peter is rearing to go and to finish his question. If there is anything you are struggling with, please, 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 now is the time to post it. If there is anything, if you see posts on the page that you think you can help out with, that's also cool. It's nice to help other mindsetters. This little community is for you guys, and we are doing this as a team. So, Peter, take it away.
Great, and we're busy dealing with such a real life question, okay? We're wanting to go out and buy a house, and we're saying that in this scenario, Mr. Lamini sees a house for 1.2 million, right? And he's told that his monthly installments would be around about 14,800 a month, somewhere around there. And we were then told that the bank will only allow you to buy that house if that 14,800 somewhere around there is at least 30% of his salary. Then we worked out in order to buy a house worth 1.2 million, you've got to be earning a salary of around about 48,000 rand a month. Yeah, that's a lot. That's me gone, okay? Not buying a house worth 1.2 million. Here's the scary thing though, guys. I remember, it's a real story. I remember when I bought my first little flat. I was so excited about it, I really was. And I went off to an estate agent and I saw this flat and I was great excitement. It was a one-bed, in fact, it was a two-bedroom flat. It was in kind of a nice area. It had a lovely, huge bathroom, lovely kitchen, built-in cupboards, phenomenal, beautiful lounge, dining room. So pleased with it, okay? And this goes back to about 1994 or so. And I paid 72,000 Rand for that flat. Okay. Which in those days was, a lot of money.
I wish I could buy a flat for that price now.
So do I. I should have
I
bought
wish.
10 then.
I know.
Okay. But my salary then, I used to clear out, I would say, just under 2,000 Rand a month. So that just puts it in perspective. Okay. Now, guys, when you think about that, right? So off I go, buy my house, and they tell me my monthly installments. I was like, that's tough. I don't know if I'm going to come out every month. But I worked out my budget, and it was fine. Okay. And then to my horror, suddenly I was given a whole lot of costs. Costs like lawyer fees, because lawyers have to write up a contract between you and the bank, and they charge you for that. There's something called transfer fees, where all the paperwork's got to go off to somewhere if you live in Natal, it goes to Pietermaritzburg, and they do a whole lot of paperwork and change the property from one person's name to another person's name, and they charge you for that. Nobody told me. It was absolutely horrific. Then, when I moved in, the first day, I was so excited. I moved in and I bought myself a kettle, and I thought I'm going to have some tea. So I put the kettle, put it on, and I thought, great, brand new kettle, it's not working. And I got really mad. Got in the car, drove to the shop, said, I want a new kettle, this kettle's not working. They gave me a new kettle, I went home, I put that kettle on, and that one was also not working. Then I was really mad, okay? Then I kind of put the light on and realized there was no lights. And no one had told me that you've got to go off to some municipality and attach these lights. But to do that, for them to put your lights on, cost you money. No one told me. So for the first 3 months, because I didn't have the money, I didn't have any electricity, because I kind of didn't budget for that part. Okay. So there are all these hidden little costs, folk, when you buy a house. Remember that. And say to your estate agent, I want to know all the costs. Don't just tell me what I'm paying every month. I want to know everything. And this is what Mr. Dlamini is finding out here. Let's look at this part of the question. Before purchasing the house, Mrs. Dlamini will need to consider a number of hidden costs involved with the purchase. Answer the questions that follow, which relate to these hidden costs. There's a transfer duty. This is the amount payable for transferring the property into your name. Transfer duty is a percentage of the purchase price, which is payable as follows. So if you're buying a house up to 500,000, you're not going to pay transfer duty. But if you're buying a house from 500,000 Rand and 1 cent to 850,000, you're going to pay 5% on the value of the house above that 500,000. If you're buying a house, and this is where Mr. Dlamini, this is the category he's going to fall in, because remember, he bought his house for 1.2 million. So what's he going to pay? He has to pay 25,000 up front, plus a further 8% of the value above 1 million Rand. Now, calculate the transfer duty according to the value of Mr. Dlamini's house. Remember, his house cost 1.2 million. It doesn't say it here, but remember it from the last question. Okay, so what's he got to do? For the 1.2 million, he's going to have to pay 25,000 Rand. Plus what? Well, he's going to pay a further 8%, and 8% is written 8 over 100, times what? Not times the whole 1.2 million, but times the amount above a million. So, he paid 1.2 million for his house. We're going to take away the first million, because he's not paying 8% for that. He's just going to pay 8% on the 200,000. Got that? 1.2 million, so 1,200,000 minus the 1,200,000. So times 200,000 Rand. Okay. Equals, we're going to say it's the 25,000 plus, now let's do it. We're going to find out 8% multiplied by 200,000 equals, and we get 16,000 Rand. So he's paying a further 16,000 rand. So we've got the 16,000 rand. We're going to add the 25,000 rand and a total of 41,000 rand. So that's just the transfer duty on his house. Guys, can you see how much trouble people can land in when they buy homes and they don't know about all these hidden costs? So you're buying a house and you think it's costing me 1.2 million, but already Mr. Lamini's got to find another 41,000 rand just to transfer that house into his name. That's scary stuff, eh? There's more. Let's have a look. So, security assessment. The bank charges a levy for conducting an assessment of the property you wish to purchase. This fee is 1,315 rand and VAT of 14% is added to this amount. Calculate the security assessment fee according to the value of Mr. Lamini's house. Right. So, you need a security assessment. Why? Because the bank aren't just going to give you a loan. They want to make sure, hold on, this house is definitely worth that amount of money and the house is not busy collapsing. Because imagine if they give you that amount of money and you take that money and you go and give it off to someone else and your house collapses and you say, oh, you know what, I'm not paying for this house anymore. It doesn't stand. So the bank want to make sure your house is okay. So 1,315 rand. Okay. And we're adding 14% to that. So we can do it two ways. Either say 1,315 plus my 14% of the 1,315, or I could just say 1,315 times 1,14, and that'll give me the same answer because it's the 100% plus the 14%. That's how we get the 1.14. Let's do that on our calculator. So we're going to say, right, we're paying 1,315 multiplied by 1.14 equals, and I get an amount of 1,499 rand and 10 cents. 1,000, what was it?
499 rand
and
10 cents.
10 cents. Okay. Let's just go back and look at the calculator again. Can you see it's 1499.1? And you understand we're dealing with money. So that 0.1 means 0.10. The calculator doesn't always pick up that zero. In fact, it doesn't. So you must just know you're dealing with money, and money has 2 decimal places. Okay, nice. Right. Are there any more hidden costs? Let's have a look. Home loan initiation fee. So
But wait,
besides
there's
taking
more.
out this loan, they're now going to charge you for wanting to take out the loan. My giddy on. Hey? I tell you, when you add up all these bits and pieces, it's going to amount to the value of my house here. All right. So this is a once-off fee levied by all banks for initiating the new home loan account. The amount of 1,250 rand, inclusive of VAT, is charged for every new home loan, where the loan is greater than 500,000. Determine the home loan initiation fee for Mr. Lamini's house. Guys, it's 1 mark, so I know it's going to be absolutely easy, okay? And what's it going to be? It's going to be 1,250 rand. Why? Because his house was worth more than 500,000 rand, and it was inclusive of that. So it's 1,250. Have you got that? Indiana?
I've got
Cool,
that.
fantastic. Because I know what the next question's going to be.
Oh, do you? Okay.
It's probably going to land up being, or might not be the next one, but it's going to be calculate the total costs, I bet. Hey, so, and you've written them all down. So
I'm
that's
very
great.
scared for that, but we
Okay,
can do
so
it.
here we go. There's more costs. The deeds office registration fee. So the deeds office charges a fee for the registration of the title deeds and the mortgage bonds according to the value of the house. And there it tells you, if your house is less than 80,000 rand, you're going to pay 55 rand. If it's between 300,000 and 500,000, you're going to pay 340 rand. Now, Mr. Lamini's is over 1 million rand. He was buying a house for 1.2 million. So his fee is going to be 500 rand. Question is, calculate the deeds office registration fee according to the value of the house. Guys, it's 1 mark. I know it's going to be easy. And we said 500 Rand. Can there possibly be any more hidden costs?
There
Let's
must
go
be.
on. Right. Calculate the final amount. Sure, at last. The final amount due for hidden costs of the house. So let's do this. So we know the hidden cost is a transfer fee, which we said was?
Oh gosh, where is the
that
transfer fee?
41,000 or something, hey?
41,000. I don't have a number here. I've got a 14,909
No, there was
and
one
10 cents.
huge one, wasn't there?
I've got a total.
Of?
Oh no, I think that was from the tire question.
All right, folk, I'm just absolutely thrilled to have Indiana in the studio today. She's of great help. As you
I
can
do know
see.
the security
So-
fee. I know
Okay, what's the security fee?
1,315.
Okay, so we've got equals something plus 1,000.
315.
Cool. Plus the assessment fee.
Did I write C? I've got fee for taking loan.
Okay, what's the fee for taking loan?
1,250.
1,250 plus the deeds office fee
500.
plus 500. Okay.
And
So,
I've got two other numbers here.
What
but
are
I
the
you
other
see,
ones?
you see, I've got 16,000, and then I've got 1,499 and 10 cents.
that's security fee.
Is that security
1,000.
fee? 1,499
Yeah. And 10
and
cents.
10 cents.
Okay. Remember, we said this one was a huge amount. It was an extra 41,000 or something like that. Okay. Now, folk, obviously, when you're in your exam, you've got your piece of paper in front of you. You've got all the answers, okay? Unlike me, that I've got to keep flipping between the different boards. But more importantly, unlike me, an absolutely useless help on my right-hand side here. So, what you would do is you would now take your calculator and just add up all these figures. And you would get your final answer of, it remains a mystery. All right, let's go on to the next question. So our viewers out there do believe we do know what we're doing. Okay, here we go. Mr. Satoli purchased a car for 100,000 Rand. He will only be able to replace his car after 5 years. The value of the car depreciates at a rate of 25% per year for the next 5 years. Calculate the value of Mr. Satoli's car after 5 years using the following formula.
Peter,
Yeah,
are we going to be able to do this question
we are.
in 1 minute?
We got 1 minute.
Okay,
Look
go.
how quick
Okay,
I'm
go.
nearly finished.
Go.
The purchase price of the car was how much? 100,000 Rand. Yes?
Yes.
100,000. So we've got 100,000 Rand. Sure, I'm working under pressure now. 1 minus, and it's minus because it's depreciation. My interest rate was 25%. So it's going to be 25 percent, which is 25 over 100, okay, times the number of years for 5 years equals our calculator. We're going to take it out. I'm going to move my calculator this side, and we're going to say, right, I've got, how am I doing for time?
20 seconds. Must hurry.
Must hurry. Bracket 1 minus 25 over 100. Close brackets, and it's for 5 years equals, and my answer is, my car will only be worth, I've made a mistake, that's impossible, I'm embarrassed. You see, you've rushed me, I can't do this.
I'm sorry. Okay, guys, what we are going to do, because we've only got 20 seconds left. So what I'm going to make Peter do is I'm going to post the answer as soon as at the end of the show. That's exactly what I'm going to do, because I think I've only got about 10 seconds left. Thank you so much, Matrix, for such an awesome session. I had such fun, and enjoy the rest of your Women's Day. And I'll be seeing you same time, same place next week. You guys rock. Bye.